The Pride Lands, a kingdom of majestic beauty and vibrant life. But beneath the sun-drenched savannas lies a history stained by ambition and betrayal. We all know the story of Mufasa and Simba, of a righteous king and his heroic son. But what about the villain who cast the darkest shadow, Scar? Was he merely a jealous brother, or was his descent into madness driven by something far more sinister? Today, we delve into the untold story, the curse of Scar's shadow. To understand Scar, we must first go back to his youth. He wasn't always Scar. He was born Taka, a name that in Swahili means dirt or trash. Imagine growing up in the shadow of a brother named Mufasa, which means king, while your own name is a constant reminder of being lesser. This was Taka's reality. According to the Lion Guard, a series that expands on the lore, Taka was the second-born, destined to lead the Lion Guard, the protectors of the Pride Lands. He was gifted with the roar of the elders, a power that commanded the very elements. He wasn't born evil. He was a proud, capable leader of his Lion Guard. But this pride would be his undoing. On a fateful patrol, Taka met a mysterious, charming lion named Ascari, the same name as the first leader of the Lion Guard. This strange lion spoke of power, of respect, and of a destiny greater than just being a protector. He preyed on Taka's insecurities, planting seeds of doubt about Mufasa's right to the throne. The stranger convinced Taka that, with his help, Taka could prove he was the stronger, more deserving ruler. Blinded by ambition, Taka agreed to a plan. The strange lion and his cobra companion would stage an attack on Mufasa, wooing Taka to save him and emerge as the hero. But it was a trap. The cobra turned on Taka, biting him over the eye and injecting him with a potent venom. The venom didn't just leave a physical mark. It seeped into his mind, amplifying his jealousy, his paranoia, and his rage. It was in this moment of betrayal that Taka, in a fit of furious power, used the roar of the elders not for defense, but for destruction, obliterating the treacherous lion and his serpent. But using the roar for evil came at a price. The great kings of the past stripped him of the power, leaving him with nothing but a throbbing scar and a heart full of venomous hatred. Returning to Pride Rock, he was met not with sympathy, but with Mufasa's careless jest. You should be called Scar from now on. The name stuck. The final piece of Taka was gone, replaced forever by the bitter, vengeful Scar. The scar on his face became a symbol of his pain, his lost honor, and the deep-seated resentment that would fester for years. This backstory changes everything. Scar wasn't just a simple villain. He was a victim of a demeaning name, of a prophecy that placed him second, and most importantly, of a venomous curse that poisoned his mind and soul. His every action from that point on was filtered through a lens of paranoia and rage. His alliance with the hyenas wasn't just a strategic move. It was a desperate attempt to find allies among outcasts, just as he felt himself to be. When Scar finally took the throne, the Pride Lands withered. The lush savanna turned to dust and bone. This was often seen as a metaphor for his poor leadership. But what if it was more? What if the venom's curse extended beyond Scar himself, poisoning the very land he ruled? The great spirit of the kings is tied to the health of the Pride Lands. By murdering the rightful king and usurping the throne, Scar, a cursed and broken vessel, severed that sacred connection. The land itself became a reflection of his own twisted soul. His paranoia grew, and his reign became one of fear and starvation. He saw Mufasa's ghost in Simba, a constant reminder of his crime and his own inadequacy. When Simba returned, it wasn't just a fight for the throne. It was a confrontation with the past. It was a chance for the curse to be broken. During their final battle atop Pride Rock, Scar, cornered and desperate, makes a fatal mistake. He blames the hyenas, the only allies he ever had. This moment is crucial. For years, the venom had fueled his rage, but it also made him a master manipulator. Here, his paranoia gets the better of him. He alienates the very creatures who helped him rise to power. When Simba throws him from the cliff, it isn't the fall that seals his fate. It's the betrayal. The hyenas, his scorned followers, surround him. They had heard his confession. Friends, their leader Shenzi sneers before they descend upon him. In the end, Scar was consumed, not by a hero, but by the consequences of his own poisoned actions. The final, brutal fulfillment of the curse that began with a snake bite years ago. This interpretation adds a tragic layer to one of Disney's greatest villains. He wasn't a monster born of pure evil, but a prince who was manipulated, cursed, and broken. The story becomes a cautionary tale about how insecurity and resentment can be exploited, and how a single moment of weakness can set a soul on a path to damnation. The shadow he cast over the Pride Lands was not just his own, but the shadow of a curse that haunted him until his dying breath. So, the next time you watch The Lion King, look closer at Scar. Look beyond the sneering villain and see the tragic prince named Taka. See the scar not just as a mark of a fight, but as a symbol of a venomous poison that twisted a once proud leader into a tyrant, ultimately leading to his own ruin. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the brightest of kingdoms, the darkest shadows often hide the most painful secrets. What do you think? Does this tragic backstory make Scar a more compelling character? Very flattering. It can mean dirt or trash, and also want. Right from the start, his name sets him up as someone who is either seen as worthless or who is defined by a constant, gnawing desire for something more. It's a stark contrast to his older brother Mufasa, whose name means king. One is destined for greatness, the other ... for the dirt. Imagine growing up with a name like that, while your brother's name literally means king. Talk about setting the stage for some serious sibling rivalry. This book series dives deep into the early days of the Pride Lands. Long before Simba was even a thought, we meet a younger Mufasa and Taka, and their father, King Ahadi. From the very beginning, Ahadi shows a clear preference for Mufasa. Mufasa is strong, responsible, and embodies all the qualities of a future king. Taka, on the other hand, is portrayed as weaker, more cunning, and resentful. He's constantly living in Mufasa's shadow, desperate for his father's approval, but never quite getting it. One of the key stories is a tale of two brothers. In this book, King Ahadi promises to take both his sons on a patrol of the Pride Lands, a special father-son bonding experience. Taka is ecstatic. This is his chance to finally prove his worth to his father. But then, things go wrong. A crisis arises with a grumpy and Ahadi breaks his promise to Taka, taking only Mufasa with him to deal with the problem. He tells Taka he has to stay behind. Taka is absolutely crushed. It's another painful reminder that in his father's eyes, Mufasa is the important one, the heir, while Taka is just ... an afterthought, filled with bitterness and jealousy. Taka decides he needs to humiliate Mufasa. He wants to make his perfect brother look weak and foolish in front of their father. So, he comes up with a devious plan. He goes to the infamous trio of hyenas, Shenzi Banzai, and Evan Buckton, were troublemakers on the edge of the Pride Lands. Taka tells them to stir up trouble with a herd of Cape buffalo. His idea is that if the buffalo attack Mufasa, Mufasa will be too scared to fight back, and he'll look like a coward. Taka can then swoop in, save the day, and finally earn the respect he craves. He manipulates the situation perfectly. He tells Mufasa that the buffalo are unfairly hogging a waterhole, and that as the future king, he should go and reason with them. It's a classic setup. Mufasa, ever the noble one, agrees to go and talk to the buffalo leader, Boma. But Taka has already poisoned the well, figuratively speaking. He had told Boma that Mufasa was coming to challenge him for the waterhole. So when Mufasa arrives, the buffalo are already angry and ready for a fight. The plan spirals out of control almost immediately. The buffalo don't just scare Mufasa. They launch a full-blown stampede, aiming to trample him. Taka, watching from the sidelines, is horrified. He wanted to embarrass his brother, not get him killed. He never intended for things to go this far. In a panic, he leaps into the fray to try and save Mufasa from the charging herd. It's a moment that shows us that deep down, Taka isn't pure evil. There's still a part of him that cares for his brother. But his moment of bravery comes at a terrible cost. In the chaos of the stampede, one of the buffalo's horns slashes Taka across his left eye, leaving a deep, bleeding gash. The pain is immense, and the injury is permanent. This is the moment Taka becomes Scar. The physical wound becomes a symbol of his emotional wounds. The jealousy, the resentment, The feeling of being sick. After the stampede is stopped, Mufasa is safe, but Taka is scarred for life. When their father, King Ahadi, finds out what happened, he's furious. Not just at the buffalo, but at Taka for his reckless and malicious plan. There's no praise for his attempt to save Mufasa, only disappointment for causing the problem in the first place. And then comes the final, soul-crushing moment. Taka, now with the permanent mark of his failure over his eye, declares that he wants to be called Scar from now on. He tells his father it'll be a reminder of his foolish mistake. Think about that for a second. He chooses to wear his shame, his trauma, as his identity. He completely sheds the name Taka, the name that meant trash, and adopts a new name that literally means a mark left by a wound. He is branding himself with his pain. This story completely reframes Scar's character. He's not just a power-hungry monster who wants the throne for no reason. He's a tragic figure, a product of a dysfunctional family, and a lifetime of being told he's not good enough. His father's neglect and favoritism planted the seeds of resentment. Mufasa, although not intentionally cruel, was a constant, shining reminder of everything Taka wasn't. The scar on his face becomes an outward manifestation of the scar on his soul. Every time he looks in the water's reflection, he sees that mark. It's a constant reminder of his greatest failure, the day his jealousy almost got his brother killed and left him permanently disfigured. It cements his hatred not just for Mufasa, but for the entire system of monarchy that placed Mufasa above him from birth. His desire for the throne isn't just about power. It's about revenge. It's about proving to his dead father, to his brother, and to himself that the lion named Trush could become king. This backstory also adds a dark, ironic layer to one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. When Scar orchestrates the wildebeest stampede that kills Mufasa, he's essentially recreating a more twisted, more successful version of his childhood failure. This time, he doesn't intervene. He lets the stampede run its course, ensuring his brother's death and clearing his own path to the throne. It's a chilling, full-circle moment. The event that gave him his scar is echoed in the event that gives him the crown. It makes you wonder, if Ahadi had shown his sons equal love, if he hadn't broken that promise, would Taka have ever become Scar? If he had felt valued and seen, would the jealousy have festered into such deadly ambition? It's a classic nature versus nurture debate. Was he born bad, or was he made bad by his circumstances? The story of Taka suggests it was the latter. Disney has never officially adapted this story into an animated feature, leaving it in the realm of supplementary book lore. But for the fans who know it, it adds an incredible layer of depth and tragedy to The Lion King. Scar becomes less of a one-dimensional baddie and more of a Shakespearean tragic villain, driven by pain and a desperate, lifelong want for the love and respect he was always denied. So, next time you watch The Lion King, and you see that sinister lion with the scar over his eye, remember Taka. Remember the little cub who just wanted to go on patrol with his dad, and whose jealousy led him down a path of darkness from which he would never return. It's a dark, forgotten chapter in the story of the Pride Lands, but it's the key to understanding one of Disney's greatest villains. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found this secret history as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movies. Let me know in the comments what you think. Does this story change how you see Scar? Catch you in the next video.